Okay, the meeting of the October 20th, 2021 Springfield Planning Board is now in session. Can you please call the roll?
Mr. Cunningham?
Here. Oh,
Mr. Minio? Hey, I got you. Mr. Minio? Absent. Mr. Daniele?
Here.
Ms. Moran?
Here.
Ms. DiFilippo? Absent. Mr. Florian?
Here.
Quaid?
Here.
Ms. Choi is absent, but we do have a quorum. I don't believe I found out any minutes.
No minutes. So, Mr. Dromi, did you want to do a quick little explanation of how the meeting will run?
Yeah, again, just quickly, I'll recognize Ms. Choi in a minute. Just quickly for those who may be watching this meeting, due to the Zoom regulations, the planning board is required to hold 2 hearings for each item. Hearings are heard at the first meeting, the petitioners are allowed to present. And then the planning board will then be able to ask questions. That particular item will be then continued. The meeting will then be aired on Focus Springfield TV and allow the general public to then provide comments. At the following meeting, if any comments are received, they'll be read into the record, and then that particular item will be voted on. So we actually have a few continued items from the previous October 6th meeting, and then a couple of new items. But again, the continued items will be voted on tonight, and then the new items will be continued until the November 3rd hearing, I think it is. If we could just recognize Ms. Choi.
Okay. All set.
I think so. Ms. Choi, if you could just say present. Chelsea, can you hear me? Well, I think we can continue. We do have a quorum. Hopefully she'll jump on.
Okay. Then, Mr. Dromi, can you call the first item on the agenda?
Yeah, if just quickly, Leo, I was hoping to just jump down to the under public hearings new, the subdivision, just for those who may be watching the meeting. It's for the subdivision, the definitive subdivision plan for Whispering Brook Estates, which is a development located off of Allen Street. I would just ask that the board, we're just going to open this hearing, but I'm then just going to ask the board to continue this. The developer is still in the process of completing planning.
I'll just do it now.
Yeah, you gotta do, yeah, for the survey, you have to do the ACH.
Alex, you need to mute yourself.
No, pardon, say that.
So again, the developer is still in the process of revising the plans to make some changes for DPW comments, and I'm still waiting for Conservation Commission approval on the plan. So I would just ask that the board make a motion to continue this until the November 3rd hearing.
Okay, before we do that, folks, can we recognize Mr. Minio is here?
Oh, yes, Mr. Minio?
sorry, I'm like,
That's right. So, Ms. Minio.
I move that we take the subdivision plan for Whispering Brook Estates. And what are we holding it till the next meeting?
Yeah, just continuing until
Continuing it to the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call?
Yeah, so voting in favor to continue the subdivision, Mr. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Minio,
Yes.
Mr. Daniele,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. DiFilippo, absent, Mr. Florian, sorry, I think,
Yeah. Yes.
Ms. McQuaid,
Yes.
and Ms. Choi. I'm not sure if she's on, but this item will be continued until November 3rd. So going back to the top of the agenda, under public hearings continued, a liquor license and all alcoholic new liquor license for 497 Belmont Avenue. petitioner Ampola Bakery and Bistro LLC, doing business as Bori Chino. Just for the board's information, I have not received any comments either for or against the proposed item, so.
Okay. Were there any additional questions by the board? Okay, hearing none, do we have a motion? I can see Rosemary
I'll make a
talking
motion to
here.
approve. I just don't have the conditions in front of me. Sorry. Somebody can read the conditions.
I've got the conditions, if that would help.
Yes, please.
Do we have to move to close the hearing or do we just move to approve?
Yeah, I think we should close the public hearing.
Okay, so we need a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Voting in favor to close the hearing, Mr. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Minio,
Yes.
Mr. Daniele,
Yes.
Ms. Moran,
Yes,
Mr. Filippo, absent, Mr. Florian,
Yes.
Ms. McQuaid,
Yes.
Ms. Joy.
Yes.
Okay. Public hearing is closed.
Now do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Like I said, I just don't have the conditions in front of me. Sorry.
I've
Rosemary?
got them if you want me to read them.
Yes, please.
Okay, the hours of operation shall be stated by the petitioner. Full sign plan shall be submitted to the Office of Planning and Economic Development for review and approval prior to the issuance of a sign permit. There shall be no banners, streamers, or other promotional material located on the exterior of the building, with the exception of grand opening.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Voting in favor, Mr. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Minio,
Yes.
Mr. Daniele,
Yes.
Ms. Moran,
Yes,
Ms. Filippo absent, Mr. Florian,
Yes.
Ms. McQuaid,
Yes.
and Ms. Joy.
Okay,
No, motion passes.
motion passes. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you and good luck.
Yep, thanks.
Okay.
Under public hearings continued, again, a liquor license, an all alcoholic new liquor license, location 750 Boston Road, petitioner MLNJ LLC, doing business as Marley's Joint, although I think that name was changed, so. Just so the board is aware, I did receive from the attorney a number of letters in support. I received a letter from Miss Rodriguez, who was indicated she is in support of the proposed application, and as well as support of being it as the license being allowed to be open till 2 a.m. We also received a letter from the owner of 22 Sewell Road, Mr. Gorgie, who also owns the gas station directly adjacent to this particular site, and again is in favor of it. Is indicated that the proposed operator has been over to see them, and he has no issue with the 2 a.m. closing. And we received also 2 letters from the owners of 61 Harvey Street, Dottie Cody and Xavier Cody, again, both indicating support for the proposed use as well as the 2 a.m. closing. So also I did send out, I received a revised menu. I'm happy to bring that up if the board wants to take a look at it, or I didn't know if the board had a chance to review it. It came in this afternoon.
I saw it.
Everybody saw it? Okay.
thought,
Okay.
looking at the letters right now.
Is that Rosemary?
I was just reading the letters right now,
The support letters?
the support letters, yeah.
Just one last thing, just regarding the neighborhood council. I know, Mr. Johnson, I don't know if you want to just speak to that quickly, that you are planning on.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Droma. Yes, I was able to meet, to speak with Mr. Lysak of the Pine Point Community Council. He asked, and we agreed to do an in-person site presentation. Unfortunately, wasn't able to schedule that until Tuesday of next week. So that'd be Tuesday, the 26th. But that's when we will actually do a presentation before the council, so they get to see the place and hear all about the grand plans for the reopening.
Any other questions? Okay. And do we have a motion to close the hearing?
Make a motion to close the hearing?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call?
Voting to close the hearing, Mr. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Minio,
Yes.
Mr. Daniele,
Yes.
Ms. Moran. Ms. Moran, you're muted.
Sorry, yes.
Steve Filippo absent, Mr. Florian,
Yes.
Ms. McQuaid,
Yes.
Ms. Choi.
Yes.
Hearing's closed.
Okay. Okay. Now, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve. Go ahead.
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
I noticed that the conditions were that it be open no later than 1 o'clock, but I know the application says 2. So are we looking to change the conditions or?
Yeah, I mean, that's up to the board. If the board, wants to
Yeah,
let them allow them to open till 2, that's your discretion.
I think we should, in the past, we can say, the condition should be the number, the hours of operation shall be as stated on the application. I don't know if that works with everybody.
That was me. So was there a motion to approve?
Yeah, I have a motion, so I'm gonna change the first condition is gonna be changed to the hours of operation shall be as stated on the application, which is 2 a.m.
Okay. Now, do we have a second?
And then, the second condition is there shall be no banners, streamers, or other promotional material located on the exterior of the building with the exception of grand opening.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call?
Voting to approve, Mr. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Minio,
Yes.
Mr. Daniele,
Yes.
Ms. Moran,
Yes.
Mr. Filippo absent, Mr. Florian,
Yes.
Ms. McQuaid,
Yes.
Ms. Choi.
Yes.
Motion's approved.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, under continued items, again, zone change number 3225. Again, I'm going to request that the board continue this again. I received an email from Mr. Martone, and he is still working with his engineer to come up with that plan. I guess the engineer is extremely busy, so he does not feel that he's going to be ready to go until November, mid-November. So I would just recommend that this item be continued until the November 17th hearing.
Okay, do we have a motion to continue?
I'll make a motion to continue this hearing until November 17th.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Voting to continue, Mr. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Minio,
Yes.
Mr. Daniele,
Yes.
Ms. Moran,
Yes.
Mr. Filippo absent, Mr. Florian,
Yes.
Ms. McQuaid,
Yes.
and Ms. Choi.
Yes.
Okay, this item will be continued until November 17th. Finally, the last public hearing under continued items is zone change number 3226. Address 8 Florence Street, Residence B to Residence C. The petitioner Whitest Properties LLC. I also just, I did receive communications from the petitioners. I think it was, I have it here somewhere. Give me 1 second. It's, the letter is actually from Wayfinders. I can read it quickly. They're just they are pleased with they are pleased to write a letter of recommendation for Whitus Properties. Wayfinders Administrators is a transitional living program for survivors of domestic violence that leases units throughout Springfield area. Over the years, Whitus Properties has purchased and managed property. We are currently leased 4 units that houses survivors of domestic violence. During that time, we have worked with Whitus Properties. I have had the opportunity to observe their professional skills and interpersonal style. Since purchasing the properties, Whitus Properties has been professional and responsive to our needs and those of our clients. Alex is always available for any issues involving the property and is easy to work with. Wayfinder recommends that Whitus Properties, because of the level of service, honesty, and skills, we look forward to a continued relationship. That's from, I think it's a Janet Vigo, Chief Program Officers for Wayfinders.
Bill, I know in that same email, there was some question about number of units and whether there was any further reviews required depending on the number of units that were created. Is that all set?
Well, yeah, I mean, on the original application, it was my understanding it was only 6 units, but it appears that it's going to be 9. So to me, as long as it remains 9, I believe that the zone change process that we're going through now classifies as the quote unquote site plan review. If it were to go to 10, then that is going to trigger a special permit from the city council. So as long as the number of units remains 6, I think it's 4 through 6 triggers an administrative site plan review. I think 6 through 9 triggers the planning board site plan review, which again, we you know, under the zoning ordinance, the higher level of review triggers the review. So in this case, because it was a zone change, we still did require the site plan to be submitted. So I believe technically the site plan review that the planning board would have been done is technically done because it's an existing property with no significant changes. So I was a little concerned that it would trigger the 10, which is a special permit from the city council. So it is my understanding, and I defer to the petitioners, but it looks like it'll be 3 units per floor, so a total of 9.
Are there any other questions?
I had a question. I was doing a little research on this for the history and stuff. And you really, Alex, you don't actually own the property, correct? You're only the property managers?
The other properties we own, our purchase is contingent on the ability for the zone change. We already have financing lined up through a life insurance company to purchase and renovate the property, and a loan that's very sufficient to cover the costs of the renovations and purchase.
So your intention is to purchase the property because you're not currently the owner?
No, it's in the family right now. We're just, like I said, if this didn't go through, we wouldn't be sure that we would want interest to invest in that property with the current zoning regulations.
Okay, so your intention now, as long as this goes through, is to own it?
Correct. Whitus Properties.
Okay. Okay, just because it has been a problem property in the neighborhood. And I know that when they did the site visit, they weren't really crazy with how well it's been taken care of up till now. There was a couple of comments from the site visit on that. So needless to say, to suddenly put in 9 more units in the neighborhood and have it questionable as to how it's going to be taken care of is a concern. So, all right, that's what I wanted to find out.
All right.
We're getting noise from somewhere. Can you identify that?
I don't know if that's, yeah, I bet it was Alex.
Okay, were there any other questions? If not, we will entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Make a motion to close the hearing.
Second,
Okay, roll call.
Voting to close the hearing, Mr. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Minio,
Yes.
Mr. Daniele,
Yes.
Ms. Moran,
yes,
Mr. Filippo absent, Mr. Florian,
Yes.
Ms. McQuaid,
Yes.
Ms. Choi.
yes,
Hearing is closed.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the zone change.
Okay. Do we have a second? Luca, second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call, Mr. Jomi?
Voting to approve zone change number 3226, Mr. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Minio,
Yes.
Mr. Daniele,
Yes.
Ms. Moran,
yes,
Ms. Filippo absent, Mr. Florian,
Yes.
Ms. McQuaid,
Yes.
Ms. Choi.
yes.
Okay, moving to the next section on the agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's public hearings new. Under liquor license, we have a request for an all alcoholic expansion, location 911 Rimmon Avenue. Petitioner City Line Capital Inc., doing business as City Line.
Sorry to be rude. Are we all set here for today?
Yes, you're all set, Alex.
Yes, the motion passed. You're all set.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Look for the improvements very shortly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, I know it's in your neighborhood.
Yes, and are right around the corner.
We'll get it taken care of. Thanks. Have a great evening.
Okay. Okay, is there anybody here to speak in favor of this petition?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Attorney Tom Rook, and I am the attorney on behalf of the petitioner, City Line Inc., doing business as a City Line Cafe. For the record, Martin Cunningham has left the meeting because he is a member of the planning board. You may recall we were before you this past summer, and you granted us permission to endorse our petition for a rear patio immediately off the rear door of the facility. And this petition is for a patio on the outdoor, in the immediate front of the City Line Cafe. The City Line Cafe has been in existence as a neighborhood cafe for over 70 years. It's been a well-run establishment since Martin Cunningham took it over, and it was a well-run establishment by the previous owners. The landlord has endorsed it, and there has been no opposition. We appeared before the neighborhood council, and they unanimously endorsed it as well. You may recall there were over 90 individuals who signed the petition in favor of the rear patio, and I would strongly suggest that they would also be endorsing this petition as well. Your staff has made an analysis and recommendation. We have no objection to those recommendations, and we would endorse those as well. We would ask that you approve this to enhance the business opportunities for the City Line Cafe, the neighbors and the long-standing patrons who attend it. This patio would be in the front of the building, which is the sun side of the building. So it would be a very nice outdoor establishment for eating, drinking. There would be no outdoor music, no outdoor entertainment. And the closing time is agreed upon to be 11 p.m. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Okay. Thank you, Attorney Rook. Are there any questions from the board?
Leo, just quickly, I just wanted to make sure everyone, I think I sent out the letter. There is a letter of support from the Hungry Hill Neighborhood Council. There's also a letter of support from a Mary Ellen Russell O'Brien of 109 Sterling Street. I believe I sent that out as well. So.
Okay. Did everybody get those or see them?
I'm sorry?
Okay. No, I just wanted to make sure everybody saw those letters that came in.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
my big concern was the hours. So,
We've agreed to the condition that there will be no outdoor service after 11 p.m.
Yeah, beautiful.
yeah, that's critical considering it's surrounded by houses and stuff.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, If not, then I'll a motion to continue this hearing.
I'll make a motion to continue this hearing.
Second,
Roll call, Mr. Dromey.
Yes, we're voting to continue the hearing. Mr. Cunningham? Oh, sorry.
Remove himself from the hearing.
Yeah, I abstain. Mr. Minio?
Yes.
Mr. Daniele?
Yes.
Ms. Moran?
yes.
Ms. DiFilippo absent. Mr. Florian?
Yes.
Ms. McQuaid?
Yes.
And Ms. Choi?
yes.
Okay, the motion is continued until the November 3rd hearing.
Thank you.
Can I just ask one question? I'm curious about how many tables are they going to be able to get out there?
I'm thinking 5 or 6.
Okay. It didn't look like a very big area. That's why I was just wondering.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Okay, I just have one A&R plan to review. If you just give me a second, I'll bring that up. My large scanner wasn't working today, so I had to make a small copy of it, but I think you'll be able to still see it. Let me know if you can see that. Does that come up?
yep.
Okay, so this is basically just it's a lot on Jamaica Street. It's currently two parcels, and they're just removing the lot line to make it one larger parcel.
Move to,
Second,
roll call.
I don't believe I need a roll call for this.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
There we go.
All right, that's it for issues tonight. So I appreciate it. And we can all go
We have
watch.
a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right.
Second.
I'm sure everybody's in favor of that one.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Okay.